Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's 6 episodes explored how the exiled Jedi Master continues to kick himself over the ways he failed Anakin Skywalker, from abandoning him on the lava beach of Mustafar to humiliating him with an empty freighter switcheroo on Jabim. But as Riva and Owen Lars have suggested, how much of the blame for everything awful in the galaxy really rests on Obi-Wan? Really, I think this series is inviting us to victim blame here. So in this final episode of our Star Wars miniseries, Between the Duels, let us ask the question, how much of this was Obi-Wan's fault? Obi-Wan himself indicated that he was taking some responsibility for Anakin's dark turn as far back as Revenge of the Sith.
I have failed you, Anakin.
Now, he didn't go into further detail, but contained in those words were volumes of context for the ways Obi-Wan failed to see the darkness rising in Anakin, his denial of Anakin's ambitions and his passions and his needs for paternal guidance, and Obi-Wan's overall blindness to the Sith plot to erode the Republic and wipe out the Jedi. Kenobi Episode 5 returns to Obi-Wan's early tutelage of Anakin, sometime shortly before Attack of the Clones, when Anakin gained the upper hand during a sparring session until Obi-Wan used an arguably sneaky sucker move of snatching a saber from Anakin's hand, making us wonder, why haven't Jedi been doing that all the time? But then leaving him with this nugget of wisdom.
You're a great warrior, Anakin, but your need to prove yourself is your undoing. Until you overcome it, a Padawan you will still be.
A Padawan you will still be. Who does this syntax inverter think he is? Yoda? Obviously not, because this wisdom is nowhere near the level of
the greatest teacher. Failure is. We are what they grow beyond. That is the true burden of all masters.
By the way, this is my favorite piece of Yoda wisdom. And if it doesn't speak to you, just give yourself time, because if you've ever been a teacher or a mentor or a parent or an older sibling, damn does it hit hard. Now, we can't really blame Obi-Wan for being not as good of a teacher as Yoda. I mean, no one is. However, we can blame Obi-Wan for holding back Anakin in this rank of Padawan, denying him Jedi Knight despite his ability to beat his ass, as this session might have even been a test to become a Jedi Knight, simply because Anakin is just eager to prove himself. That's a total double standard, considering 10 years earlier, Obi-Wan displayed the same kind of ego and hot-headedness when he's dueling Darth Maul on Naboo. What was his rage-fueled one-on-one with Maul if not a desperate need to slay his nemesis and prove himself to his dying master? And how did Yoda reward Obi-Wan for that?
Confer on you the level of Jedi Knight. The Council does.
Huh, how the turntables have... This denial of Anakin's advancement was a mistake, as just giving the kid the promotion he deserved may have replaced that chip on his shoulder with instead something his ego really needed, the heavy burden of responsibility. Because nothing tempers the starvation of ambition like the weight of office. Sitting in one of the chairs of the Jedi Council gives one all kinds of sobering wisdom. Qui-Gon Jinn didn't want to sit on that council for that reason. Obi-Wan only joined it when Diva B'Laba was like, God, no thanks, I'm done. Now, of course, the denial of Anakin's advancement wasn't specific to Obi-Wan. Yoda and Mace Windu were even more reluctant to bring Anakin into the fold, and ultimately that distress was going to be manipulated by Palpatine anyway. Yet still, as a Jedi Master on this council, Obi-Wan should have, like the rest of them, seen all the red flags that they were all being manipulated into a political war. At the start of Attack of the Clones, Mace Windu said,
"We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers."
Which is hilarious when you look at how quickly the Jedi joined the war effort, leading the charge, and for the years that followed, commanding clone troopers under the rank of general. Peacekeepers can't be generals! Now, before you say it wasn't just Obi-Wan who assumed the rank of general, well, sure, but it was Obi-Wan alone in Attack of the Clones who investigated Sifo Dyas's secret plot to conspire with the Kaminoans to raise an army of clones, a plot so sus that someone acid washed star maps from the Jedi archives. Like, if that wasn't a red flag for Obi-Wan, what could be? I mean, nothing against Rex and the other beloved clone troopers we got to know throughout Clone Wars, but Obi-Wan saw how the sausage got made there, and he still gobbled it down and asked for seconds. And then at the height of the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan was so proud of being a military general that he snapped back at Anakin, who was defending Tarkin that Jedi peacekeepers have no place on the front line.
Captain Tarkin feels the Jedi should be relieved from the burden of leading the war effort.
That's ridiculous.
Maybe, but we aren't soldiers. We're peacekeepers. The Jedi Code often prevents us from going far enough to achieve victory.
A rather simple point of view.
Either way, he is a good captain.
Shut up, Kenobi! Even if Tarkin is a dick, I think we can all agree there, your boy is speaking truth. Get out of this war while you still can. And by the way, this is what I love about Clone Wars. It's just so good about blurring the lines and showing subjective confusion of these characters. And now in this Kenobi series, Reva, as a past youngling attacked in the Jedi Temple on the night of Order 66, drops all the blame at the feet of Kenobi.
Where were you while he was killing my friends? He was your Padawan. Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you save us?
And Obi-Wan is speechless. He could try to answer, well, I was on Utapau. I was betrayed by Commander Cody. I was fighting for my life, and by the time I rushed back to the temple, it was too late. But he knows if he were to say that, the next words out of her mouth would be, well, why didn't you see it coming? Why were you even on Utapau to begin with? Why did you let yourself get drawn into this pointless war while leaving your most sacred mission, the children, completely unprotected? Unprotected against the fallen Jedi that you brought into the temple. Kenobi would have no answer to that. And yeah, you remember this is the same kind of shame that Owen thrust on him back in episode 1.
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father?
Now, to be fair to Obi-Wan, because we've been very unfair to him in this video, the guy was just doing his best to carry out Qui-Gon's dying wish. And to that point, it is worth considering what would have happened to Anakin if Qui-Gon didn't die. Would Anakin have turned to the dark side in that scenario? Would Qui-Gon's rogue attitude of defying the council and his trust in the living force as more of a gray Jedi have been more of a balanced mentorship for a student like Anakin than the dogmatic haughtiness of Obi-Wan? Maybe. Definitely something for Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's Force Ghost to stew over a bowl of insta-stew. And as this Kenobi series paired Obi-Wan with Leia, his memories of her mother Padme have gotten a big focus in these episodes. Obi-Wan knows that Anakin and Padme's love affair was a huge reason Anakin broke from the Jedi, since the Jedi, of course, has that rule against any romantic attachments. However, Clone Wars revealed to us how Obi-Wan definitely could have better mentored his Padawan on how a Jedi should balance one's love life and whether the Jedi Order is ultimately worth it, because our man Kenobi was totally in love with Duchess Satine.
Had you said the word, I would have left the Jedi Order.
Yes, it wasn't Obi-Wan's puritanical commitment to the Jedi Order that kept him from Satine. The guy was waiting for Satine to ask him to. And then in Clone Wars Season 7, Obi-Wan confirms that he knew about Anakin and Padme.
I hope you at least told Padme I said hello.
He should have let the boy love. Even the Catholic Church has admitted its own celibacy vow may have contributed to its history of sex abuse and cover-ups. When society stigmatized sex and forced love into the shadows, bad things happen. So now, as Obi-Wan looks into the eyes of the love children of that doomed romance and tells Leia he wishes he were her father, it's not him saying he wishes he was with Padme, it's him saying that he wishes Leia had a different father, and it's him wishing he could have had a daughter like her with his own lost love, Satine. And again, we are totally blaming the victim here. He's a fictional character, get over it. And Obi-Wan himself has admitted the error of his ways from the first episode.
The fight is done. We lost.
And let's be clear, the real villain of all this, absolutely Palpatine. And everyone else are just victims of Palpatine victimizing each other. And what I have loved about this Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and the reason all heroes are so beloved, are their mistakes, their blindness, their hypocrisy, and then the way they struggle to forgive themselves and seek redemption. And that is what we connect with, folks. And that is why I have so loved living inside the mind of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and his guilt, and his fear, and his renewed hope in this era between the duels. And I want to thank you so much for joining us on this mini-series. I've loved digging deeper into Obi-Wan's journey with you all. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.